regarding probably the biggest fighter in the whole sport, Canelo Alvarez. He is suing his promoter, Golden Boy, and the network that distributes his fights, DAZN, for not staying true to their contract. When he signed with DAZN, or when Golden Boy signed the contract with DAZN, they were essentially guaranteeing him $365 million for 11 fights, which was probably going to account for the rest of his career. So, he was making roughly $35 million every fight. And, as they've tried to put another fight together for him, there's been various opponents that have been thrown out there. I know they've been throwing out Callum Smith and Billy Joe Sanders, and there's been some good opponents that have been in the mix. And for whatever reason, the pay or whatever is not matching that $35 million a fight that he's supposed to be getting. So he's suing them, and I'm not sure how I feel about it. I'm a little torn, because there's two ways of looking at it. There's the end of it from Canelo's perspective where, he's not the only one that signed the contract. So if he goes into a fight and he's risking his life, and they've created a contract together that says this is what my services are worth, now he's the only one fulfilling that end of the contract, and he's the one really taking on the danger. The only danger for these companies would be financial danger, but not actual damage to their brain, potentially being part of that danger. So I understand that side of it. I also understand how probably everybody's taking a pay cut right now. Every fighter, every promoter, every network. I don't think that anybody is making what they were making pre-pandemic. So it's hard to imagine how or why one fighter would get excluded from that. Because in a way, the pandemic is affecting everybody. And it's almost like delusional, I think, for one individual fighter to say, like, I'm above this. I know that everyone else's money is fucked up, but not me. And there's also, I get that he is by far the biggest star in the whole sport. He's, in my opinion, the most talented and has probably the best resume, just as far as, who he's fought, when he fought them in their career and all that. There's no doubting what a great all-around tremendous boxer he is. He can do it all. The guy can do it all. But as a businessman, it seems like he's just going to price himself out of, the modern boxing market. If he's not careful, he's just going to stay inactive until globally we're at a place where we're safely doing, fights and sporting events with audiences. But he's essentially saying that he's willing to not be a part of the sport until that time. Because unless you have a live crowd, unless you have a live gate, there's really no way of developing that level of revenue for one fight. It's not possible, even with pay-per-view. I don't know the exact figures, but the amount that's coming from people actually showing up and being there, that's a big percentage of of where the money's coming from. So I don't know how he thinks he's immune from this, or how he thinks they're supposed to just come up with some more money, and just and maybe cut certain cards and cut certain fights, and there's potential that fucks up somebody else's fight, and somebody else's fight they might not be talking about making $35 million. They might be talking about $35,000. So now you're fucking up somebody's $35,000. So I don't know, man. I think he's going to have to, at some level, come to terms with the fact that he's not going to be able to make what he thinks he should make for a fight during coronavirus. Again, last time I'll play the flip side card, but he has every right to get out of this contract now, because he's essentially in a contract that's impossible to fulfill, and it doesn't look like he's being offered like any sort of meaningful alternative. So I understand where he's coming from, man. It's a very complicated situation. I respect what he's doing in a sense because of, how Mikey got out of his contract with Top Rank and him being inactive and everything. But it's different times and it's not entirely the same. I just want to see the man fight. I think he's the best of his time. And, I look forward to seeing him in the ring again. And I hope that this isn't something that gets dragged out for a long time. But I think it has the potential to. I think this has the potential to be a long time in his career because he's already not fought since November. My opinion, he's not going to fight the rest of the year, for sure. I think you're looking at Cinco de Mayo next year will be the next time you see Canelo fight. That's my opinion. Don't quote me on it, but that could be what's coming for him.